I spent 10 years finally succeeding in creating the time machine. I decided to take all my assets and go back to the past to find my wife who had passed away too early. 10 years ago, when the chandelier fell, my indifferent wife rushed to save me without a second thought. But she fell into the X-pool herself. Just before she said the words that had been hidden in her heart. Shen Ping'an, I hate you. If there is an afterlife, don't like me. Don't marry me. Just set me free. After she said, I was heartbroken. It was only when I went through her memories that I learned she had 3 regrets. The first was regretting marrying me, feeling that she had wronged her true love, Liu Yi'er. The second was regretting not resisting her parents' arrangement, which caused lifelong misfortune for several people. The third was regretting not being able to save Liu Yi'er, who had taken his own life due to heartbreak. I cried like a river. It turned out she had always loved Liu Yi'er, her brother who had no romantic ties with her. Once I was unaware. The twist of fate had caused the misfortunes of several people. Now I deeply regret it. This time, I will give everyone a good ending. Returning to the past. The first thing I did was take advantage of Liu Ruy's drunkenness and coaxed her into signing the divorce agreement. I signed the divorce agreement and handed it over to Liu Ruy. Using Liu Yi'er's voice, I softly urged her. Sign it. Once you sign, I won't go on blind dates. She almost snatched the pen from my hand and without hesitation wrote her name. I smiled, a smile that made my heart ache. As expected, she loved Liu Yi'er to the core. Anything he said, she would do. I wiped the tears from the corner of my eye with my hand. She signed without even looking at me. Aren't you afraid that I might pee you? Liu Ruy's reaction was unusually slow. It took her a while to lift her hand and touch my face. Her eyes were full of deep affection for her lover. As long as you stay by my side, I can give you anything. Every man would find it hard to refuse those words. But unfortunately, those words were meant for Liu Yi'er. I stared at her for a long time. My eyes read for a long time. For a long time. The next morning, I handed the agreement to the lawyer. My voice calm. The divorce agreement has been signed by both parties. Please begin the divorce process. The lawyer hesitated for a moment. Sir, divorcing on the first day of marriage. Would you like to reconsider? I won't reconsider, I answered decisively. This marriage, I must end it. Just then, a clear voice came from behind. Divorce? What divorce? My body stiffened. I quickly turned around, and just in time, I saw Ruy walking down the stairs after waking up from a hangover. I quickly signaled the divorce lawyer to leave. After the lawyer left, I turned around and lied. Nothing. You heard it wrong. I just consulted the lawyer about the property. It was clearly a story full of holes, but Liu Ruy didn't ask further, because she simply didn't care about me. At this moment, Liu Yi'er hadn't yet taken his own life. So after our marriage, Liu Ruy's attitude toward me was just indifferent, not hatred. She lightly hummed. Weary, she pressed her fingers to her forehead. Sorry, last night our wedding was so joyful, so I drank too much. I'll make it up to you with another wedding night. Happy? My eyes uncontrollably reddened again. Liu Ruy, are you really happy? Clearly, during the 10 years we were married, you would drink yourself into a stupor every day. And every time, you would hold me and call out Liu Yi'er's name. You tore your heart apart. In unbearable pain, your love for Liu Yi'er was so intense, loving someone you couldn't have. A love full of regret. That trapped you, and trapped my life as well. Just as I was about to speak, the butler approached. Hu Gong bowed respectfully and spoke. Miss, Sir, the gifts for visiting the Shen family elders and the car are ready. Liu Ruy hummed, then extended her hand toward me. Her dark eyes held no emotion. Let's go! My hand, which hung by my side, tightened. Only then did I clasp her palm. Warmth instantly spread through my body from the connection of our hands. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't warm my frozen heart. On the road, the red light kept coming, the black Maybach stopping and starting. In the gap of waiting for the red light, I was about to close my eyes, pretending to sleep, when I suddenly heard a ding from the phone beside me. I instinctively looked toward the sound and saw your slender fingers sliding across the lit screen. I glanced sideways and saw your slender fingers moving on the screen, her expression gradually darkening, finally turning into a wave of dark ink. Suddenly, she flipped the phone face down on her lap, turned to look at me. Ping An, the company has an emergency. I'm afraid I can't go back to the Shen family with you today. As for my parents, I'll visit them another day. Before I could respond, she pushed the door open and got out of the car, her back determined. I lowered my eyes and lit up my phone. On the screen, Liu Yida's moments on social media were glaring in front of me. In the 9-photo grid, he was smiling brightly at the amusement park with his date. The photo in the center, where they held hands and gazed at each other, was sweet enough to sting. No woman wants to see the person she loves, let alone Liu Rui. So, there's no company emergency. That was the real reason she hurried to leave. Outside the Shen family villa, Shen father and mother had been waiting for a while. When they saw their son getting out of the car alone, the elderly couple was stunned for a moment. Then they hesitated to speak. Shen mother looked anxiously behind me at the car, seeing that there was really no one inside. But after meeting my calm gaze, she swallowed her words. At the dining table, I took the initiative to speak. Mom, Dad, I'm planning to divorce Liu Rui. As soon as I finished speaking, the entire dining table fell into an eerie silence. Shen father frowned. Everything was fine. Why suddenly divorce? Shen mother was even more anxious. Yes, Ping An. What's wrong? Is there something you can't talk about? Didn't you really like Rui? And you've only been married for a day. How can it be? Her words stopped abruptly, because I had already raised my eyes. Tears filled my reddened eyes. Mom, Dad, I'm not happy with her. I want a divorce. Please set her free and set me free too. I beg you, support my decision. My voice was soft, but the more I spoke, the redder my eyes became, as if I had suffered a great injustice. Shen father and mother had no idea what had happened, but seeing their precious son crying like this, they instantly softened. They quickly put down their chopsticks and rushed over to hold their son in their arms. They didn't ask further, only saying, "All right, Mom and Dad agree. If you want a divorce, go ahead. Mom and Dad will fully support you." I leaned into my parents' arms, tears flowing uncontrollably. Shen father and mother truly loved me. In my past life, my marriage wasn't good, and my parents had always been worried for me. Just a few short years and it ended. This time, I will never make my parents worrying for me again. After the divorce, let's move abroad to settle down. I choked up as I spoke. Shen father and mother exchanged a look, then nodded. Where do you want to go? Mom and Dad will go with you. I wiped my tears away, finally smiling. This time, I won't let Liu Yida take his own life. I won't let Liu Rui lose her love forever. I won't make my parents frown. And I won't let my own future be miserable. I will give everyone a good ending. From then on, the empty wedding house never welcomed back its mistress. But every day, I could see Liu Rui's figure in Liu Yida's social media posts. At the top of the Ferris wheel, Liu Rui quietly stayed in his embrace. At a couple's restaurant, by the window, Liu Rui tenderly peeled shrimp for him. By the seaside under the flowers, Liu Rui lovingly covered his ears with her hand. In every photo, Liu Rui's gaze at Liu Yida was filled with a deep affection that could not be contained. Liu Yida wrote in the caption, "Having a sister who spoils me like a crazy woman is truly the best." A friend joked in the comments, "Your sister is so beautiful, and she treats you so well." How can you still like your blind date? Liu Yida replied with a cheerful smile. If I don't like her, then I don't like her. My sister doesn't allow me to be with him, and even says she'd take care of me for life. Can't help it. I'll just have to say goodbye to her. I swallowed the bitterness in my heart and quietly turned off my phone. These past few days, while UY was away, I packed most of my luggage. At the same time, I was thinking about how to fulfill Liu Ruy's second regret, convincing Liu father and Liu mother to accept her being with Liu Yida. Liu mother was Liu Yida's biological mother, so that part wasn't too difficult. The hardest part was Liu father. He was the most formal head of the Liu family, and Liu Ruy was his most beloved family heir. He had taught her for years to raise such a prodigious daughter. He would never allow her to make any mistakes. Although Liu Ruy and Liu Yida were not biological siblings, they still shared the same household registration. So in the previous life, when Liu father found out they had developed feelings for each other, he became furious and forcibly separated them. He made Liu Ruy marry me. As I was thinking about how to convince Liu father, Liu Ruy returned. She was wearing a well-tailored formal dress and holding a suit in her hands. She handed it to me. Tonight is a family banquet. Come with me. I paused for a moment, taking the dress. All right, I lowered my gaze, appearing very obedient. I didn't ask about why, since our marriage. She had refused to consummate it, and hadn't come with me to the Shen family, or where she had been for several days without returning. Liu Ruy looked at me, suddenly pulling out a gift box from her bag, and handed it to me. I saw this at an auction. I bought it for you. I opened the gift box to find a pair of cufflinks inside. Recently, Liu Ruy had spent a fortune, 100 million, to buy a limited edition ring from Prince William, which had caused quite a stir in the circle. People thought she was giving it to her husband, but this husband of mine only deserved a bracelet that came with the jewelry set. But I didn't say anything. I just smiled and put the bracelet on, softly saying, "It's very beautiful. Thank you." Liu Ruy looked at me. A flash of complicated emotion passed through her eyes, but it quickly returned to calm. That evening, at the banquet, everyone complimented us, saying we were a perfect match, joking about the newlywed couple. Ruy and Ping'an truly make a great pair. I've watched these two grow up since they were little. Finally, they're together. I bet it won't be long before they have a baby. The baby will surely be very beautiful. Liu Ruy obviously didn't want to engage with the crowd, so she made an excuse to leave. I'm going to make a phone call. I was left behind, having to handle everyone's teasing on my own. After finally handling everyone, I sighed in relief. Just as I was about to leave, a familiar voice came from behind me. "Brother-in-law, long time no see. I haven't said happy newlywed to you yet." I turned around and saw Liu Yida standing behind me, wearing a moon-white formal suit, and he was wearing the very limited edition ring from Prince William. I froze for a few seconds, but quickly returned to calm, smiling and saying, "Yida, long time no see. Your ring is really nice." Liu Yida smiled and touched the ring on his finger, his tone carrying a hint of pride. "Really? This was a gift from my sister. It's really expensive." I told her I didn't want it, but she insisted on giving it to you, brother-in-law. She said only I deserved it. He said this while observing my expression, seemingly looking for a trace of jealousy or disappointment on my face. But I remained calm, and even smiled, complimenting him. "It really suits you." Liu Yida was momentarily speechless, not knowing how to continue teasing me. He had expected me to get angry, to feel jealous, or even argue with him, but my reaction left him with nothing to work with. Just as I was about to leave, Liu Yida suddenly grabbed my hand, his tone feigning excitement. "Brother-in-law, the day you married my sister, I went on a blind date. I didn't get a chance to give you a gift. Today, I'll make it up to you." I was about to say no need, but Liu Yi theatrically exclaimed, "Ah, brother-in-law, don't push me." Then he suddenly jumped into the pool. Before I could react, Liu Rui heard the noise and ran over. Seeing Liu Yi struggling in the water, her face immediately turned pale. She frantically shouted his name, then without hesitation, jumped in. In her hurry, she shoved me, who was standing by the pool, with force. I lost my balance and stumbled, following after her. My forehead slammed hard against the stone edge of the pool. Blood flowed down instantly. Then, Liu Yi was rescued from the water. He was soaking wet, looking pitifully at Liu Rui, his voice carrying a hint of grievance. "Sis, I don't know what I did to make my brother-in-law angry. He clearly knows I can't swim. Yet he pushed me into the pool. I held my bleeding for it, feeling disbelief. I didn't." But Liu Rui coldly shot me a glance. Just one look, and it sent a chill down my spine. She didn't believe me. I was about to speak, but Liu Yi's voice screamed out again. "Sis, the ring you gave me is gone. It must have fallen into the pool." "No! I have to get it back." Liu Rui quickly stopped him, her tone carrying a hint of tenderness. "Forget it. I'll buy you another one later. Now I'll take you to the hospital." But Liu Yi shook his head. Tears kept falling from his eyes. "No! That ring was from you. I must find it." After saying that, he pretended to jump back into the pool. Liu Rui looked at the soaking wet Liu Yi, then glanced at me not far away. A surge of anger filled her. She said coldly, "Whoever lost it, let them go down and get it." After saying that, she gave the bodyguard a look. The bodyguard immediately understood, stepping forward to grab my arm and throwing me into the pool. With a splash, water splashed everywhere. The surroundings were filled with exclamations. "What is Liu Rui doing? This is her new husband. I heard that Ping An accidentally dropped the necklace she gave to her brother into the pool, so she wants him to find it. I've heard that Rui spoils that stepson like a treasure." I didn't believe it. But now I finally do. Suddenly, my body sank. The cold pool water instantly engulfed me. Water surged from all sides, like countless invisible hands, pulling at my limbs, dragging me into the abyss. It was autumn, and I was wearing a thin dress. My whole body shivered from the cold water. I struggled trying to climb up, but the bodyguard pushed me back down. "No!" I struggled desperately, but my cries for help were drowned out by the pool water. "Sir," Liu said, "you can't come up until you find the ring." I hazily watched Liu Rui, her back as she left, holding Liu Yi, and a pang of bitterness filled my heart. I could only sink down. Searching again and again, I searched for a full 2 hours before finally finding the ring. When I got out of the water, dripping wet, my entire body had turned blue and purple from the cold. The hand holding the ring trembled uncontrollably. I collapsed by the shore, like a fish on the brink of death, gasping for breath. The family banquet had already ended. Everyone had left. I could only focus on the ring. Hastily walking out of the villa, halfway out, I suddenly realized I hadn't taken my phone. I had no choice but to return uphill. But after only a few steps, I saw a towering fire in the distance. In an instant, my mind exploded with a loud thud. How could I have forgotten about this? In the previous life, the Liu family's old house caught fire at this moment. Liu's father had drunk too much and slept alone in the study. He nearly died from the fire inside. Though he was rescued, he suffered third-degree burns, and the rest of his life was filled with unbearable pain. Thinking of this, I quickly dialed the emergency number, and without hesitation, rushed into the flames. The intense heat from the fire surged wildly, scorching my exposed skin with vivid blisters. The flames licking at my calves, leaving fiery marks. The sharp pain made my vision blur, but I couldn't care about that. I charged straight toward Liu Father's study. Sure enough, when I pushed open the door, I saw Liu Father passed out inside. I called out for Dad several times. When he didn't wake up, I hurriedly dragged him out. Just as we were about to exit, a fire beam fell down. I quickly pushed Liu Father to safety. In an instant, Liu Father was safe, but I was knocked out by the falling fire beam. With a loud crash, I felt a sharp pain in my back, and everything in front of me went black. I passed out completely. When I woke up again, I found myself lying in the hospital. A nurse was applying medicine to my wounds. Seeing me wake up, she excitedly said, "You're finally awake. Your back injury is so severe, you might be left with scars for life." But I couldn't focus on hearing how bad my injuries were. I just kept asking about Liu Father's whereabouts. After learning which room he was in, I hurriedly got out of bed and ran out. But when I reached the door, I found the scene inside to be surprisingly warm and cheerful. Liu Mother was smiling widely, holding Liu Yida's hand. "This time, we really owe our son Yida. Otherwise, your father might have been in much worse condition. He's getting older. He can't handle too much." Liu Yida smiled, with a hint of embarrassment on his face. "Mom, this is what I should do." Liu Ruy was also standing nearby, gratitude in her tone but with a hint of worrying. "Yida, you should have called me. How could you rush in alone? It's so dangerous. What if something happened?" "Sis, I couldn't think of that at the time. My only thought was, I definitely didn't want Dad to get hurt. All right, don't worry anymore. Look, Dad and I are fine, right?" Listening to Liu Yida's voice, everyone couldn't help but smile faintly. Even Liu Father, who usually carried an air of authority. Ever since Liu Father found out about Liu Ruy and Liu Yida's feelings for each other, he had always been cold and harsh toward Liu Yida. But this time, the way he looked at Liu Yida softened a bit. Less of dissatisfaction, more of gratitude. I stood at the door of the hospital room, my chest vibrating slightly. I didn't understand why Liu Yida took credit for my actions, saying that he had rescued Liu Father. Maybe this was the best outcome after all. It might change Liu Father's opinion of Liu Yida, and perhaps that could help him and Liu Ruy. So, I didn't expose Liu Yida's lie. I just silently left. In the following days, I stayed in my hospital room. No one came to visit me, and I didn't go out until one day, Liu Ruy finally remembered her husband and called me for the first time since our marriage. At that moment, I was applying medicine to my back in front of the mirror. The burn on my back still stung fiercely. My fingers trembled. The nurse had said that the scars would be permanent and would never go away. I painfully swiped to answer the call, and the next second, I heard Liu Ruy's cold voice. "Where are you? Do you know the old house caught fire? Dad is in the hospital as your son-in-law. Aren't you going to visit him?" At this time, "You're still angry about the punishment I gave you last time?" I gripped the phone, my fingers trembling slightly. "No, I've just been ... Before I could finish, I heard Liu Yida's voice on the other end of the line. "Sis, don't call brother-in-law over. I'll stay with Dad, that's enough." Liu Yida's voice was gentle, but with a hint of subtle sarcasm. Brother-in-law was upset last time. He must need to vent. Let him go play outside. Liu Ruy's breathing became more hurried, seemingly angered by Liu Yida's words. She didn't wait for me to say anything more. She hung up the phone directly. I held the phone, stunned for a few seconds. Then I let out a bitter laugh. I had long gotten used to this neglect, but each time, it still hurt deep down. A week later, I finally left the hospital. Liu Father's injuries were lighter than mine. He only suffered a few burns. Having left the hospital early, the first thing I did after being discharged was not to return to the Liu family, but to go find Liu father. I knelt on the ground, my voice carrying a hint of pleading. Dad, please allow Liu Yida and Liu Ruy to be together. As soon as those words left my mouth, Liu father froze, his eyes full of shock. He stared for 4 seconds before he slowly helped me up. In disbelief, Ping An, you know about them? I gave a bitter smile. Yes, Dad, please allow them. They truly love each other. Liu father furrowed his brow. Ping An, you are Liu Ruy's husband. How can you ask me to approve of them being together? They are siblings. This is impossible. I looked at Liu father. Although his tone was firm, I could still sense a slight wavering. The fact that Liu Yida saved him clearly held weight in his heart. I pressed on, my voice filled with urgency. Dad, I need to tell you something. You may not believe it, but it's the truth. Actually, I came back using a time machine. Liu father froze, his eyes full of disbelief. A time machine? Ping An, what nonsense are you talking about? I took a deep breath and shook my head. I'm not talking nonsense. I've actually lived a whole lifetime already. In the previous life, you separated Liu Ruy and Liu Yida and made her marry me. Liu Yida couldn't accept it, and soon after our marriage, he took his own life. Liu Ruy, immersed in his death, couldn't move on, and eventually followed him. Liu father's expression changed. Clearly unable to accept such an unbelievable story, I had expected his reaction, and continued. If you don't believe me, I can prove it. 10 minutes from now, the bridge in the northern part of the city will collapse. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. We'll see if the news reports it. Liu father looked at me, half believing, and after a while he nodded. The two of us sat in the living room, silently waiting. 10 minutes later, the news indeed started reporting. The bridge in the northern part of the city has suddenly collapsed. Liu father's expression changed instantly, his eyes full of shock. He looked at me, his voice trembling. How is this possible? I seized the opportunity, and once again urgently begged. Dad, I'm not lying. Although they are siblings now, it's easy to move Liu Yida's household registration out. Please agree. They truly love each other. Liu Ruy is your most cherished heir. You surely don't want her to end up dying young, do you? Liu father's mind was in a state of chaos, clearly unable to immediately accept all of this. I don't know how much time passed. He waved his hand, his voice trembling slightly. Ping An, go back for now. I'll think about this matter carefully. I understand. Liu father's thoughts seemed to have softened quite a bit. I didn't press him further, just nodded, and stood up to leave. When I got home, Liu Ruy still hadn't returned. I sat alone by the window, watching the stars outside. The night wind was cool, ruffling my hair, but my heart felt much lighter. I thought to myself, Liu Ruy, your second regret. It should be completed soon, right? The next day, I woke up early. I was about to continue packing my things when the front door suddenly opened. Liu Ruy walked in with a cold expression, her tone carrying a hint of command. Change your clothes. We're going out on a date. I was stunned for a moment, not quite processing it. A date? Why the sudden? Liu Ruy impatiently interrupted me. Don't ask so many questions. Just change your clothes. At that moment, my phone rang. I looked down. It was a text message from Liu father. Ping An, I've been thinking about it all night. This time machine thing, it's still too absurd. But I've decided. You and Liu Ruy should spend more time together. You two are the ones I've watched grow up. She doesn't have no feelings for you. I've already talked to her. These days, go on more dates. If it still doesn't work, I'll let go. I won't interfere with young people's matters anymore. I stared at the message, my heart filled with mixed emotions. Before I could respond, Liu Ru coldly spoke. I'm already here on a date with you. And you still want to go tell dad? I opened my mouth, wanting to explain. But Liu Ru didn't give me a chance. She grabbed my wrist and directly dragged me into the car. The whole day was spent on a date, but Liu Ru's face remained emotionless the entire time. She accompanied me to the mall, watched a movie, even went to an amusement park. But her eyes remained cold, as if the person beside her wasn't her husband, but an enemy. I walked behind her, feeling like something was pressing down on me. I could barely breathe. In the evening, we sat in a fancy couple's restaurant. The candlelight flickered. The music was soft, but the atmosphere was as cold as ice. Liu Ru hadn't eaten a single bite. She just kept drinking. I couldn't hold back any longer and advised, "Stop drinking. It's bad for your health." Liu Ru put down her glass and gave me a cold glance. "Grandpa wants me to consummate the marriage with you tonight. But I don't want to. If I get drunk, I won't have to deal with this trouble." My heart sank sharply. My fingers unconsciously clenched tightly. I lowered my head, my voice carrying a hint of bitterness. "I didn't deceive you," Liu Ru sneered, her tone laced with sarcasm. "I thought you had been well-behaved these past few days. That I even felt a little guilty towards you. But now it seems you were just pretending, purposely not showing it in front of me. But then going to tell my dad that I didn't spend time with you." A sharp pain shot through my heart, like a dagger being thrust straight into me. Shen Ping'an, the you I knew before wasn't like this. Did you change? Or have I never really understood you? I lowered my head. I didn't answer. I just silently stayed with her till she was completely drunk. After dinner, Liu Ru was so drunk she could barely stand. I helped her back to the house, struggling greatly to get her onto the bed. Just as I was about to turn and leave, I lost my balance and fell right on top of her. Our lips met. I froze, but Liu Ru seemed to have found some release and kissed me wildly. "Yida, sister likes you. I really like you." Her voice was hoarse, with a hint of drunkenness. My heart felt like it was being tightly squeezed, the pain almost suffocating me. "Ooh-ha, Liu Ru, you've got the wrong person. I'm not Liu Yeater." I was about to push her away, when suddenly there was a loud bang at the door. I looked up, and saw Liu Yeater standing in the doorway, pale as death. His eyes filled with shock and pain. "Yeater, please let me explain." As I opened my mouth, Liu Yeater had already turned and ran out. I wanted to chase after him, but Liu Ru held me tightly. I couldn't move. Her strength was surprisingly strong. I struggled for a long time, before finally breaking free from her embrace. When I ran outside, Liu Yeater was already nowhere to be seen. A heavy weight seemed to press down on my heart. I had no idea what kind of storm awaited tomorrow, but what I didn't expect was that the storm would come so quickly. In the middle of the night, Liu Ru's phone suddenly rang. She picked up the phone, and after hearing something from the other side, her face went pale instantly. After hanging up the phone, she suddenly sat up from the bed, her voice trembling. "YIDA has taken his life. He saw us kissing." My mind exploded with a loud crash, like being struck by lightning. Taken his life? How could that be? I clearly remember ... In the previous life, Liu Yeater didn't take his life at this moment. How could it happen earlier? Liu Ru sobered up quickly. She glared at me, her eyes full of anger and pain. "Now, are you satisfied? Did you already see it coming? Was it intentional?" I opened my mouth, wanting to explain, but Liu Ru wouldn't listen. She grabbed the car keys and rushed out the door, not even bothering to put on her jacket. When I caught up to her, she was about to start the car. I quickly ran over and grabbed the car window. "I'm going too," Liu Ruy looked at me coldly. What are you going to do? Do you want to harm Yeater again? Did you already know that I liked Yeater? Is that why you went to tell my dad? Did you deliberately make him see me kissing you? Shen Ping'an, if something happens to Yeater, I will hate you for the rest of my life. My heart felt like it was being tightly gripped, the pain so intense that I could hardly breathe. I gritted my teeth and said each word clearly. Liu Ruy, I have no ill intentions toward him. I only want to go back because Liu Yeater's taking his life will cause a major blood shortage. The blood bank will be in crisis. My blood type is the same as his. I can save him. In the previous life, Liu Yeater didn't get to the blood source in time. He died on the operating table. But Liu Ruy refused to listen. She immediately started the car. I panicked and directly blocked the car in front. Liu Ruy couldn't stop the car in time, and the car slammed into me. With a loud crash, I was thrown away. I fell heavily to the ground. Liu Ruy quickly got out of the car, shouting in shock, "Are you crazy?" I struggled to get up from the muddy ground, stubbornly saying, "Take me there." Liu Ruy finally gave in. She drove me to the hospital. To my surprise, I was right. Liu Yeater really did have a major blood shortage, and the blood bank was indeed in crisis. I rushed forward and told the nurse, "My blood type is the same as his. I'm here to donate." The nurse looked at me, covered in dirt, and asked in shock, "Did you just have a car accident? You're too weak. You can't donate blood." But I insisted. "I can. I'll donate my blood." The nurse hesitated, but she had to start drawing my blood. My face became paler and paler, but I gritted my teeth and remained silent. Halfway through the donation, the nurse couldn't help but advise, "You can't donate anymore. You'll hurt yourself." But I reddened my eyes and spoke with determination. "No, keep going. He needs the blood." In the end, I donated a full 1000 cc. I nearly fainted. Liu Ruy quickly supported me, her voice trembling slightly. "Why are you doing this?" I smiled weakly, my voice barely audible. "Because you are someone very important to me, and he is the person you love." Liu Ruy's heart trembled violently, as if something had struck her hard. She looked down at me in her arms. A complex emotion surged in her heart. For the first time, Liu Ruy began to reevaluate my love for her. Passionate, unrestrained, without any concealment, even willing to risk my life for the person she loves, but without asking for anything in return. She recalled the love I had shown her over the years, her voice carrying a trace of guilt. "What about my dad? It really wasn't you who told him." I shook my head, my voice weak. "No! I want nothing more than for you to be happy." Liu Ruy's heart seemed to be tightly gripped. She was about to say something, but I had already passed out. When I woke up, I found myself lying in a hospital room. The nurse entered to prepare and for. I hurriedly asked the nurse, "Did Liu Yeater survive?" The nurse nodded, her tone tinged with dissatisfaction. "Yes, but your wife, she asked you to donate blood to your brother. You almost lost your life, and she was still so focused on taking care of him." I smiled, the smile filled with relief. I picked up my phone and sent a message to Liu father. "You should know by now that Liu Yeater took his life. I've been with Liu Ruy for a while, but she still can't love me. I will divorce Liu Ruy. Dad, Uncle, you said before that you would support them. Soon." Liu father replied, "Forget it. I won't interfere anymore. Do as you wish." I breathed a sigh of relief, feeling a sense of liberation. All of Liu Ruy's 3 regrets were now fulfilled. It seemed everyone's fate had changed, and it was time for me to leave. Over the past few days, Liu Ruy had not visited me once. I often heard from the nurse about how she was taking care of Liu Yeater, but I wasn't angry. In fact, I smiled. The day I was discharged, The divorce certificate was also ready. I sent a message to my parents, asking them to head to the airport first, while I went back to pack the last bit of my things. In the evening, just as I was finishing up packing, Liu Ruy came back. When she saw me packing, Liu Ruy looked a little surprised. "You already know I plan to have you move out?" I was stunned. For a moment. What? Liu Ruy's tone unexpectedly softened a bit. Yida can be discharged now, but his body is still very weak. I want to take him to stay with me for a while. But with you here, it might be too much for him. So, I want you to stay in the villa in the north of the city for a while. I nodded and agreed. Okay. Liu Ruy didn't expect me to agree so quickly. Only then did she realize, had I been too generous? I clearly knew she loved Liu Yider. How much must I love her to stay calm and not cause any trouble in this situation? Even donating blood to save Liu Yider? I even agreed to move out willingly, lost in thought. I had already packed my things. Liu Ruy snapped out of it and took the luggage from me. "I'll take you there." I moved my lips, as if wanting to say something, but in the end, I kept quiet. I simply said, "Let's go." On the way, we didn't speak a word. Until Liu Yida called. He said he had burned himself with boiling water. Liu Ruy's expression instantly became anxious. I watched her long fingers urgently tapping on the steering wheel. She softly said, "Go to him. I can catch up later." Liu Ruy once again witnessed my generosity, but for some reason, she didn't feel good about it. She nodded, and as I got out of the car, she stopped me. "Ping An, now that we're married, I'll try to let go of Yider and live well with you. You'll only stay in the villa for a month, during which you don't have to call me. When the time's up, I'll personally pick you up." I didn't respond. I silently got out of the car. Before leaving, I placed the second divorce certificate on the car. Liu Ruy hurried to see Liu Yider, eagerly driving away. She didn't notice the divorce certificate in the car. I watched the car disappear into the distance and smiled softly. My lips moved slightly. "Liu Ruy, you can't let go of Liu Yider, and I will never come back. This time, you will finally get what you want. I have completely let go and set her free. This farewell is forever." I hailed a cab again, heading straight for the airport. As the car passed a bridge, I took off my wedding ring and threw it out the window. The ring traced an arc in the air before disappearing into the night. At the hospital, Liu Ruy hurried to the ward. Seeing Liu Yida crying, she rushed forward without a second thought, grabbing Liu Yida's hand, her face full of panic. "Yida, how are you?" Liu Yida looked at her face, his eyes slowly turning red. He turned his head away. "Why are you here? Didn't you say you didn't want me anymore?" When Liu Ruy heard this, her expression became even more panicked. She tightly grasped his hand. "Who told you that? How could I ever not want you?" It was as though those words triggered something inside him. Liu Yida suddenly burst into tears, clinging to her waist. "You promised you'd be back soon. Why did you take so long? I thought you really didn't want me anymore." Liu Ruy looked down at Liu Yida in her arms, his face streaked with tears. Her heart filled with compassion. She hugged him and patiently comforted him. "Even if the whole world abandons you, I'll never let go of your hand." Liu Yida finally smiled through his tears, quickly reaching out his hand. "Really? Then let's make a promise." "Okay." Liu Ruy spoke in a doting tone, extending her finger to hook his hand. In the following days, Liu Ruy, wanting to prove her commitment, stayed by Liu Yida's side without leaving him for a moment. She would warm up the porridge and feed it to him spoonful. She would push him for walks in the garden when the weather was good, even on stormy nights. Time passed, and the entire hospital knew that on the top floor in the VIP room, There was a wife who deeply loved her husband, but some nurses, having seen old news, couldn't help but gossip softly. I remember Liu's husband didn't look like this ... Before they could finish their sentences, they were quietly warned by the head nurse. Don't speak out of turn. While several nurses were gossiping, Liu Rui was pushing Liu Yida through the hallway. When Liu Yida heard, his eyes immediately turned red. He struggled to break free from Liu Rui's grip. Then he ran toward the hospital room. Yida. Liu Rui, fearing he might do something rash, instinctively tried to chase after him, but then, as though realizing something, she suddenly stopped. Her cold eyes swept over the people in the room. Finally, she turned to the head nurse. I don't want to hear any more nonsense from irrelevant people in here. As soon as those words were spoken, several nurses were so frightened they collapsed to the ground, eyes wide with despair. It's over. Liu Rui didn't pay them any more attention. She stood outside Liu Yida's room, knocking on the door persistently. Yida, listen to me. Let me in, please. But due to what the nurses had said earlier, Liu Yida locked her out. He refused to let her in. No! Big sister, we're still siblings. Being too close will make people talk. You should go. I can take care of myself. Liu Yida's muffled voice came through the door. Liu Rui listened, and her heart twisted in pain. Yida, what are you saying? Don't talk like that. We're not. But just as she was about to say more, it was as if she realized something. She stopped. They were, after all, siblings. Though once they were just that. But the man was unmarried, and the woman was not married either. There was still a possibility of them being together. Now, she had already married me. Liu Yida could only remain as her brother. Liu Rui smiled bitterly, put down her hand, preparing to leave. Suddenly, a loud crash came from inside the room. Her heart tightened. She rushed to open the door and ran inside. Yida. Inside the room, Liu Yida was sitting on the bed, dazed. There was a broken glass cup on the floor. Liu Rui's heart dropped when she saw this. She quickly strode over, grabbed Liu Yida's hand, and carefully checked him. After confirming that he wasn't hurt, Liu Rui let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness you're okay. Liu Yida clung to her waist again, crying pitifully. What should I do? If I leave you, I won't be able to do anything. Liu Rui then realized what he had been intending to do. She gently patted his back. If you can't do it, don't worry. I'm here. I'll take care of you. Liu Yida finally managed a satisfied smile. The day Liu Yida was discharged from the hospital, Liu Rui specially took him back to their marital home. But after parking the car, Liu Yida hesitated to get out of the car. He looked at Liu Rui nervously. Sis ... Maybe it's better not to. After all, you're married to him. You must have intimate things to do. I'm just an outsider. Liu Rui immediately understood what Liu Yida was concerned about. She smiled lightly and immediately pulled him out of the car. What outsider? You're the closest person to me. Besides, he's already moved to the villa in the north of the city. He won't disturb your rest. Liu Yida was somewhat surprised. He had only said it casually at first. He didn't expect Liu Rui to actually send me away. Looking at the undisguised love in her eyes, Liu Yida became even more pleased with himself. Shen Ping'an, even if you're her husband, what does it matter? In the end, you're no match for me. Liu Yida suppressed his smug smile, feigning concern. Won't he get angry? Angry? Liu Rui paused for a moment. My heart is always warm and gentle. I never hold grudges against anyone. These days, she's abandoned me several times for Liu Yida. I haven't made a fuss. Even when she told me to move out, I didn't say anything. I even quickly packed my things in advance. He won't be angry. Just rest assured and stay here. Late at night, Liu Yida fell into a deep sleep. Liu Rui carefully pulled her arm out of his embrace while they were in the hospital. Silently slipping out of the guest room, she hadn't minded sharing the same bed with Liu Yida. After all, Liu Yida was her brother. It was only natural for a sister to take care of her brother. But their marital home, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Finally, I returned to my bedroom. It was late at night. Outside the window, everything was pitch black. In the room, only a dim light illuminated the side of Liu Rui's face. She tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she thought of Liu Yida's words. Won't Shen Pingyan be angry? At the time, her response had been so sure. Now, it felt as uncertain as ever. Finally, she picked up her phone. She saw the empty message thread and call log between us. For a moment, she was stunned. How could this be? She repeatedly closed and reopened the app, refreshing her phone several times. Still, there were no messages or calls from me. Although she had told me not to call her, I had listened obediently. Not a single call. Not a single message. Liu Ruy flipped her phone face down on the blanket. She casually glanced at the window. The moon had just been swallowed by the clouds. The howling northern wind carried with it fine raindrops, howling and coming in strong. The breeze rushed through the half-closed window, bringing a chill that seeped through. It was stifling, unbearable, just like the unease in her heart that she couldn't express. For the next few days, Liu Ruy turned down work and avoided any social gatherings or parties. She spent all her time with Liu Yi. The shareholders complained constantly, and they didn't hesitate to complain to Liu's father. Liu Ruy expected her father to scold her, but nothing happened. This surprised her, but she didn't have time to think about it. A few days ago, Liu Yi had his eyes on a pink gem. Because it was a private collection, Liu Ruy had to work hard to secure the gem. Today was the day to pick it up. When Liu Yi saw the gem, he was thrilled. To match the gem, he chose accessories from the collector's home. Liu Ruy sat on the sofa beside him, keeping him company. Perhaps because there was nothing to do, Liu Ruy picked up her phone to handle some work. At that moment, a message popped up. She instinctively thought it was from me. She quickly opened it, but it turned out to be a spam message. Liu Ruy closed her eyes. She opened the chat thread with me again. It was still empty. She pondered for a long time, searching her memory, but she couldn't recall when I had forgotten to send her a message. Ever since I got my own phone in middle school, I sent her several messages every day. Although the content was simple, it was always full of my care, attention, and affection for her. But now, it had been early half a month since I last sent her a message. Liu Ruy wasn't just unaccustomed to it. She even missed me a little. The longing grew stronger, surging into her heart like a flood. Liu Ruy could no longer sit still. She stood up and was about to leave. At that moment, Liu Yi, holding a tie in each hand, turned around and looked at her expectantly. "Sis, where are you going?" Liu Ruy snapped back to reality. She quickly put her phone aside and asked, "So, what do you think? Have you decided?" Liu Yi smiled slightly, pretending to be in a dilemma. "But I like both of these. What should I do?" Liu Ruy didn't say anything. She directly took the ties from his hands. "I'll go pay for it." Liu Yi watched her leave with a happy expression. He only stopped smiling when the heavy door closed in front of him. He then walked to the sofa. Liu Ruy's phone password had been set by him. He easily unlocked it. His eyes landed on the empty chat thread between her and me. Liu Yi stared at the phone for a long time. A hint of jealousy flashed in his eyes. He murmured to himself, "Shen Pingyan, since you've left, why are you still bothering her? It's fine. I won't let you come back." Then, Liu Yi took out his own phone and dialed a number. "Burned the villa in the north of the city." Late at night, Liu Yi clung to Liu Ruy as usual. But Liu Ruy, remembering the empty message she saw earlier, felt more and more guilty about not contacting me. After coaxing Liu Yi to sleep, she secretly drove to the villa in the north of the city. She didn't know that the moment she left, someone appeared on the third-floor balcony. Watching the car disappear into the distance, Liu Yi picked up his phone and dialed. "Is the fire started?" "Soon." A confirming answer came through. A cruel smile appeared on Liu Yi's lips. He then went downstairs and got into the car, heading to the north of the city. On the way to the north, Liu Rui's mood gradually calmed as the cold wind blew against her. She seemed to understand why I hadn't contacted her. When I had stayed at the villa in the north, she had promised to pick me up once the month was over. But Liu Yi had been out of the hospital for so long, yet she hadn't kept her promise. Even if I wasn't angry, I would be disappointed. That's why I hadn't contacted her. Thinking of this, Liu Ruy's furrowed brows gradually relaxed. She pressed harder on the accelerator. It's fine. I'll apologize properly when I see him. I'm sure he will forgive me. Soon, Liu Ruy's car stopped halfway up the hill near the villa. From the end of the road, there was only a flight of stairs left to the villa. Thinking that she would soon see me, Liu Ruy quickened her pace. But when she stepped onto the last stair, the sight before her froze her in place. The sky was ablaze with flames that almost illuminated half of the night. The fire, thick and violent, carried shards flying everywhere. Though she was still some distance from the villa, the intense heat still licked at her exposed skin. Her mind went blank. All she could think about was me still being inside. Safe. Liu Ruy, without hesitation, tried to rush forward. Bang! A loud explosion rang out. Debris and fragments shot through the air like arrows. Someone rushed forward to stop her. Miss Liu, please stay calm. If you rush in now, you'll get hurt. We've already called the police. The rescue team will be here soon. Liu Ruy's eyes were bloodshot. She stared at the flames. Let go of me. My husband is still inside. She cried out, struggling desperately. She tried to break free from the restraints of those around her and rush into the flames. Miss Liu, don't go in. There's no one inside. Those words struck Liu Ruy like a heavy bell, pinning her in place. Her voice trembled. You, did you say? Soon, the rescue team arrived and extinguished the flames. From the ruins, black smoke rose. Rescue workers with search dogs were searching for valuable items. They neatly arranged the undamaged precious jewelry in front of Liu Ruy. They confirmed again that there was no one inside. Liu Ruy stood dazed, like a statue. She could hear nothing. Only the words of the rescue worker echoed in her ears. There really isn't anyone inside. Liu Ruy felt a sense of relief, but her heart was filled with doubts. She clearly remembered sending me here, even though she had left me halfway because of Liu Yida's matter. With my phone, I should still be here. But where am I now? Where did I go? Thinking of this, Liu Ruy couldn't care about anything else and was about to run down the hill. At that moment, a pedestrian was heading up the mountain. Stop! Where are you going? The person was Liu Ruy's father. With him were Liu Yida and Liu's mother. It turned out that Liu Yida had originally wanted to witness my death with Liu Ruy, but on the way, they encountered Liu Ruy's parents, who were looking for her. So they went up together. They just happened to meet Liu Ruy. Upon hearing her father's words, Liu Ruy, now calm, said quietly, I'm going to find Shen Ping'an. She said that and started heading down the hill. But her father's next words made her freeze in place. No need to look for him. He already left with his parents overseas. The news hit her like a thunderclap. Liu Ruy felt dizzy. It took a long time for her to regain her voice. Father, what did you say?